In this video, we talk about Kid and Law. We are going to focus mostly on their matchups, foreseeable roles in the war, and their bounties. Kid and Law have been MIA for the past few chapters. They were fighting their way through the activity hall. They have been taking a lot of damage already, which is concerning, but Jack has too. So, I'm assuming this would be a good old slugfest that will go down to the wire. Law should have more of a role in this war. He likes to stick to the plan. He seems like a perfectionist in my eyes. I highly doubt that Law would fight right away. I think it would be best for him to be more strategic about his use of his abilities because it takes a lot of energy out of him. Anyway, swapping people in and out of dangerous situations, then attacking in weird and unexpected angles, I believe that would be the best use of his abilities when fighting with Big Mom or Kaido. And come to think of it, if ever Law gets a power up in Wano, I hope it's Future Sight. I believe that it would be awesome on him. Just think about it. Any enemy that doesn't know Future Sight himself would be virtually helpless. Attacking anyone in Law's range would be pointless. Even Law himself.
Bruh.
And Law would have full control over the situation as long as he has enough power to control his room. When he swaps someone, that character would need a few seconds to react to what happened. He would need to know where he is after it happens. He needs to assess the situation as well, and then only can he react accordingly to what had happened or to the swap, right? So those few precious milliseconds or seconds or microseconds, what however you want to call it, will obviously be the difference between life and death in that situation. Law would be perfect for Future Sight. Just the thought has my mind imagining a lot of scenarios where Law could dominate a lot of enemies. I'm getting quite off topic here, but anyway, I think that Law should utilize his abilities, creating opportunities for attacking Kaido and Big Mom. And knowing those two when they want to, they would probably own everybody. I think that both of them can handle themselves without virtually any help. I also feel like both of them would be surrounded by the end of the war, and that's when Big Mom takes off with Perospero on his candy slug. And Law might be able to prevent that whole situation from happening, depending on Kaido, or if he takes significant damage before the whole escape thing goes on. Just like what happened to Law back in the Luffy versus Doflamingo thing in Dressrosa. He just couldn't help anymore because of all the energy he has spent. And with all the heavy weights in Kaido's crew, not even considering that Law would fight possibly the Tobiropo or the All-Stars, he could just take so much damage before the end of the arc or before the end of the actual fight and be too exhausted to even use his abilities. I would love to see Law fight against Kaido and Big Mom and King, maybe even Hote from the Samurai Squad, as well as Sasaki. I'm just wondering how Law would stack up against Big Mom and Kaido. We already saw Luffy against Kaido and Big Mom. He was able to manage decently against Big Mom, and he wasn't really knocked out, nor did he take too much damage against her. So I think that it was a pretty decent showing from Luffy. And let's not even talk about Kaido's match with him. We all know how that went down.
Bruh.
Anyway, after the war, Law's bounty should surely increase depending on who he defeats. I think that his bounty might go insanely high or moderately low. And just to be frank, I think that Law is borderline Yonko Commander level. So I'll settle for Tobiropo level right now when in terms of Law's combat strength. Because when I think about it, the only Yonko Commander level character that I feel like Law could defeat right now in a one-on-one situation would be Cracker. We don't know much about the extent of Smoothie's abilities, so I'm not even gonna try, and I'll give Smoothie the benefit of the doubt. Katakuri is out of the question as well, so I'll estimate Law as almost Yonko Commander level. And with that, I think that his bounty will increase to about 900 million BELI. If he fights someone not so high up the ranks, it might be as low as 700 million. Also, after the war, Law might join the Straw Hat Grand Fleet later on unofficially. I know he mentioned that after taking down Kaido, they would be going their separate ways. I just don't think Law is the betraying type, especially since he owes Luffy for taking down Doflamingo, right? Even if it was out of the plan. It would be great to see him as one of Luffy's allies in the final battles of One Piece. I really don't believe that Law is still looking for One Piece right now. I feel like his life's mission was already accomplished with Doflamingo's defeat. But this possibility is still very much wide open since after the time skip, Law's crew wanted to set out for the New World in fear of getting overtaken by their rivals, but Law says that they will definitely get what they want. So I don't really imagine that it's defeating Doflamingo, because if that were the case, his crew would have been there for him back in Dressrosa and not just sitting around in Zou. And hopefully, we see more of Law in the coming chapters. Not to mention Beppo, because he's cute and cuddly. Anyway, we've talked about Law for quite a while now, so let's move on to Kid. In Kid's case, I really can't see him doing too much. I'm not in any means a Kid fan, nor am I a Kid hater. I'm that wow, that sounds so bad. Anyway, you know what I mean. I always try to be as unbiased as I can when I approach each and every character, even thinking about the so-called weakling trio of the Straw Hats. I believe that they are as strong as any pirate captain in their own right. And to all the Kid fans out there, I know it could be hard to hear, but I feel like Kid isn't going to do too much in this arc.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine.
Which is a good thing, in my opinion. So hear me out, okay? I think that trying to do too much in this situation will put Kid and everyone around him, his crew, allies like Luffy's crew, Law, Marco, the Scabbards, the Minks, the Samurai that joined their cause, all of those dudes, even if even if Kid doesn't view them as actual allies, everybody will be put in a very tight spot if anyone tries to do too much. So I think that Kid would be hell bent on taking down Kaido while beating up Apu along the way. And that's his role. Take some fodder out, beat up Apu, help with Kaido. That's what I think his role is. Him and Luffy are probably going to get into a fight with each other trying to take Kaido on, and that would be quite funny to see, but I feel like that's what Kid should stick to doing. And actually, that's all I see Kid doing right now. Have great fights, say great one-liners, then join the fight against Kaido. So focusing on those two things would be the best for everybody overall, in my opinion. Because doing too much and doing the things or trying to force it and then failing to accomplish it would hurt even more than just staying in your lane and doing what you can to help out. That's just how I see things going down in the war in Wano. But anyway, unlike Law, who might need to play a very important role, his abilities are just way too valuable not to be important, really. But I believe that Kid would take Apu's betrayal personally, and hopefully we see them square off until Kid finally gets his payback for what that little did to them. Right now, I think it would be interesting to see Kid fight with Queen or maybe even Page 1. I think that Queen having a mechanical arm fighting against Kid, who also uses it, would be pretty much equal. It just depends on who has the stronger haki. I'm not even sure if Kid is Yonko Commander level right now. I'm sorry to all the Kid fans out there. But he was able to injure a sweet commander in Big Mom's crew to get what he wanted, as he mentioned a few chapters back when they were in prison with Luffy. And we don't know how he or his crew did it. It might be a case of hit and run and not a full frontal attack or fight. And I believe that without seeing him in action a bit more, we can't really classify him as a Yonko Commander level character right now. I believe that at best, he is a Tobiropo level character at the moment. Now, Page 1 is a great fight for almost everybody, in my opinion. Seeing how he's strong and durable, knows haki, and has that Spinosaurus Devil Fruit. I just think that aside from Drake and ulti, well, not Drake anymore since he's betrayed Kaido already. So I think that Page 1 is the Tobiropo member that I really want to see fight in a long, drawn out battle. We all know that these ancient zone users are ridiculously tough. Thinking about it, it feels redundant to even say that they're tough. It already comes with the package of having a zone type fruit, and just because it's an ancient or mythical zone type fruit, it becomes exponentially tougher or stronger. And being a high ranking officer in a Yonko's crew, that should be a given, right? Basically, I want to know how strong Kid really is. I want him fully tested and against different opponents before he fights with Kaido or Big Mom. Because he's been getting so much hate from the community, even after his epic lines and the awesome Punk Gibson technique that smushed Apu. I just feel like this war is the best chance that Oda has to give Big Mom and Kid their much deserved redemption in the eyes of the community. And one panel of Big Mom and Kid showcasing like Punk Gibson in a powerful slash just doesn't cut it. It just doesn't.
Nope.
I'm thinking more of a full-on chapter dedicated to each of them, leaving everything on the table, fighting all out after this war is over. And because of that fight and because of the feats that Kid could end up accomplishing in this war, I believe that Kid's bounty should increase quite a bit. I'm thinking it's going to be about 800 million BELI. I think that this might be too low considering that he knows Conqueror's Haki and he has a lot of ambition, and Oda might be viewing Kid as still some sort of a rival to Luffy. So I believe that 800 million might be low for Kid. But as of right now that I'm considering his abilities and possible feats in the future in this war, that's just how high I'm willing to go right now. I just don't feel like Kid is Yonko Commander level yet, which explains my 800 million belly estimate for him. Anyway, after this war he should be getting stronger, but I feel like Katakuri would still be stronger than Kid is, and Smoothie might be a different story. It's weird that I'm using Katakuri as the bar for being a Yonko Commander level character because Katakuri is obviously super strong. So I'm setting the bar pretty high here because he's basically number 2 to Big Mom. And that's weird. But yeah, this is how I feel about Kid's combat strength at the moment. I'm hoping we see a lot more from him and that he surpasses my expectations of him. That would be a pleasant surprise from Oda. So, I think that's a great note to end the video on. That's all for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Crush the like button if you did, as if you were a kid crushing Apu with Punk Gibson. So hit that like button full of rage and fury. And subscribe to the channel so it could grow, and hit the notifications button because on the next video, we're going to talk about Hawkins. It's gonna be a solo video on that one, so watch out because we're gonna dive deep. So, stay safe. Peace.